on, everybody? I appreciate y'all tuning to the channel today here at 323 Fabrication. It is Thursday after work, and I'm working on editing some footage for y'all, and I realized I didn't have an intro for this video. So, we're working on part 3 of building this 5.3 LS for the Chevy II that we are trying to LS swap and take on Power Tour, which is in, let's see, 20-something days. So I think we're gonna cut a little close, but hey, if you're new to the channel, that's what we do. We hot rod, we build junk. This is a nice 280Z that was LS swapped at one point. We were putting a blow-through turbo small block in it, and now it's sitting here and it's gonna get another LS with a 6-speed eventually. But we got a lot of projects, a lot of crusty cars, because that's about the only way I can afford them. But to me, you know, getting it out of the woods and getting it out of the barns and getting it out of the fields and putting it back on the road, even if it's not perfect, is just the way. You know what I mean? Brakes, tires, running and driving. That's all that matters. Paint and body work can be done while you enjoy it. I have built a few cars in the past, and you get burnt out on it setting for so long and taking so long to finally get it back on the road that, to me, I really work on trying to get it where I can drive it and enjoy it, and then I'll do the rest of it a little bit at a time. So anyway, if you're here with us, I hope you're enjoying it, and check out this motor we're finna put together. All right, we got everything laid out. Just cleaned the camshaft. I don't know if you can read it or not. Tick Performance SH003. There it is, nice and clean. We're gonna lube it up. Go ahead and slide it in the block. And then you can see, got everything laid out pretty well. Timing chain soaking in there with the lifters. And should be pretty well good to go. Start assembling it. Yeah. We got our assembly lube on the camshaft. We're gonna go in here and try our very best not to goober these cam bearings up too much. Just take your time installing it. This tool makes a big difference on being able to hold on to the cam and keep it straight. Camshaft is installed. Cam bearings were good, by the way. Didn't look at them. They're all right. Don't look at them. 110,000 miles ain't too many. 500,000, we probably should have changed them. It's 18 foot-pounds is what the retainer plate calls for. Isn't a lot. There you go. Retainer plates in. Check real quick on these. I think these get Loctite too. This holds our tensioner on. See anything about that? So we'll Loctite those and just snug them up. I believe they're a 10 millimeter. Foot-pounds. If the motor's gonna try to turn. You're supposed to put ARP assembly lube on those, and we didn't do it. We put Loctite on it. It's gonna be okay. Dad's grabbing a pry bar to hold the crankshaft. You torque them to 25 foot-pounds. Don't seem like much, does it? Sure does. Got it? Yes, sir. What I'm going to do is check our timing mark, make sure that we are good still.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, is getting the marks right.
They are not.
Not what?
Right. Wait, now they are. Aren't we supposed to set TDC number 1? That's where we're at, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's it. So that's good to go. Good and tight.
Good and tight. Good and tight.
Alright, that's what we got so far. Hang tight, we're going to clean a couple things and get some lifters and lifter trays and a head and all on it. Uh-oh. The lifter trays are different. Uh-oh. I had to revisit that. I'm going to put lifters in it. Alright, so the lifters are sitting in it. They were all oiled down good. Unfortunately, this is my fault. I should have done a little bit better research. I didn't realize that Gen 4s, had this hump here and needed different lifter trays. So I'm going to show you all the difference in a Gen 3 lifter tray and a Gen 4 DOD tray, which will not work as well. So I ordered a set of LS3 GM genuine lifter trays. They'll be here Monday. Today is Saturday. But what we are going to do is slap the Gen 4 DOD ones in there just to kind of keep the lifters in place, so we can put this one head and 2 push rods on and check our piston to valve clearance on cylinder number 1. We got our timing chain, tensioner, and everything installed. So that should be good to go. But let me show you all this. And I'm actually going to reuse these now that we've got them down and cleaned them. I'm going to put these in the 5.3 for the S10. So this is a Gen 3. You can see it's the same on both sides. And then this is for regular lifters. And these are nice and tight. The lifter just slides in like that. And it holds it, right? Nice and tight. So, doesn't rock around much. This is a Gen 4 DOD motor. You can see these two are the same. And these two are the same. The notch there for the spot in the block. But if you look down in the hole, that hole is significantly larger than that one, because this is for a springed DOD lifter. So that's the difference there. If you flip these over, right, you got two traditional style lifter holes. They're tight. This motor's got 110,000 miles on it, according to the people I bought it from. But this side, it won't turn completely, but it does allow it to slap around, and it doesn't hold it. It's real loose. So I'm going to clean these. This is just old used lifter out of this motor. That's what it looks like, traditional lifter. But I'm going to clean these and use these temporarily so we can check piston and valve clearance. And that way, once we figure that out and we know we're good, then Monday, as soon as the lifter trays come in, we can put the top end on this motor. But we will go ahead and put our oil pump on and get the oil pan, gasket, all that mess on. You know, and just kind of keep trucking along, doing what we can. We won't be able to do everything, unfortunately, but we'll get to do some of it. So that'll be good. But that's the difference in these. And now when the LS3 lifter trays show up, I'll show y'all the difference. And you'll know. All right, so what we have going on, I've got these DOD lifter trays back in there just to keep the lifters sort of straight. You know, we're not turning a bunch of RPM, so it shouldn't hurt anything. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the oil pump on it. These bolts torque to 18 foot-pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot because it's not. But you can put a little blue Loctite on them. And then take the oil pump and lube the oil pump just a little bit. Now this is a tick oil pump. It's a factory oil pump that they've cleaned, deburred, and poured it a little bit. Brand new. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that. That way, you know, we can go ahead and seat it and it'll be on there. We're just gonna get what we can done. Like I said, the trays should be here on Monday. Oh yeah. Make a mess. What I'm gonna do? Put it in it or on it. Not working real good. Put it in the intake side. That would prevent it from having a dry start. Yeah. Just trying to get the oil pump lubed up a little bit. Make sure it's good. What do I do with my rag? I left my rag. Thank you, sir. Figure out a wipe the surface off so pull down good. That dirty oil out of there. Back and forth. Alright, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but Dad read in the book, and you're supposed to shim these and center them and all that, but he read in the book where they suggested just, you know, snug the bolts up and then spin the motor over 3 or 4 times, and that'll seat the pump where, you know, like it's supposed to be, and then you tighten them up, you know, and we'll torque them opposite sides. But so it's on there, it's snug, finger tight with Loctite. We're just going to take the motor and turn it over. They win. Go the other way. Other way?
Yeah, you gotta go both ways.
Backwards.
Send back and forth. Well, that may not work.
One way will have to be sufficient, I think. Oh, there we go. It's going backwards now. I've pushed all the lifters up in the trays, but that's okay. Alright, I'm gonna go a couple rounds back the other way and find TDC number 1. See what it looks like. Right there. Alright, that should be good. Now we're going to torque them to 18 foot-pounds, which is not a lot. That's what it says. Okay, oil pump's on there. One more thing done. Now it's time to check piston to valve clearance.
Hey, bud,
Hmm.
that puts you playing, that puts you in on.
That's why we pay you big money.
Right there.
Right there.
I think you're gonna have to mold that clay a little bit, make it soft.
Yeah,
And it seems like it's kind of hard.
might have to. Well, we discovered, and I should have thought about it, but I didn't. These pistons come out of the deck 3.5 thousandths. And if you look at where the combustion chamber sets on these heads, so what it was doing was it was hitting. So we couldn't get it to turn. So we're gonna have to put a head gasket on it. So we cleaned it, wiped it down with acetone, the surfaces. We're gonna throw a head gasket on it, throw the head on there, and just snug the bolts down like we did, and then check our piston valve clearance.
Because that head gasket easy. You could have used a piece of 1/6.
Now back on TDC. I'll put rock arms on it, and push rods, and all that fun stuff. Just stand there as much as I can lift it. I wish I might have dropped that in. I wish I could take that down then. Take it.
Torque on these is 22 foot-pounds. We're at TDC, so should be good to go. Does have a little preload on the springs, but that should be fine. So now what we're gonna do is turn it full 4 strokes and get it back to where it is, and then measure our pull it all back apart and check our piston to valve clearance. If I quit sitting on my tools. Alright. So that is the intake valve opening. And it just closed. The exhaust valve opening. And it just closed. And now we're back at top dead center, number 1. Right here on our thing. So now we got to take it back apart.
Say the best way to measure this now is don't touch your clay. Slice it in 2 at the deepest, and peel one half back and then measure. The other half is still stuck to the piston.
Because you peel the clay off, you deform it. Now I'm wondering how you're supposed to measure it. You're supposed to find the deepest valve and press it in clay. Cut it in 2 right there. And take a depth micrometer or something and measure it. Or an old yardstick it was. Old yardstick, yeah.
Alright, I'm no expert, but that's the only place it looks like it tried to touch.
On the exhaust side.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that intake side?
This exhaust.
Okay. Well, you got plenty of clearance there.
Bring everybody in here, let them see.
I think you got clearance.
So if y'all look,
You didn't touch the clay? Or did it?
just barely right there.
At the top.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's gonna be alright.
I do too.
I don't even think we need to measure it. What do you think?
I don't think so either, bud. I mean,
Okay.
it didn't even make an impression.
Just barely.
Yeah.
I know you said to cut this, but I want to show y'all how thick this is. Okay, so that's where it was pushed down in the valve relief.
Right.
You can see where it mushed it. So I mean, we're talking the valve's going to be in the valve relief,
Right.
but it never was below it where it starts. So that's a lot, right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
And this side didn't touch at all. So we're good. Piston to valve clearance is good. When the correct lifter trays show up, we'll be able to put this bad boy together. Well, y'all, if you're still here with us, I know you want to see this motor put together. So that's going to finish off part 3. We're going to have one more, and then hopefully it'll be in the car. Obviously, we're still waiting on a little bit of stuff, but you'll get to see it all. So if you're new to the channel and you enjoy this kind of stuff, we're just some homegrown hot rodders. We kind of learn some of it along the way and try to show other people how to do it. And then of course, you know, we just like to build cars. So I appreciate you watching the video with us. And if you would, subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed it, throw it a thumbs up and tell your friends about it. And tune in for the next episode, part 4 of building this motor. I know it's, you know, they're kind of long, but I'm giving a lot of information and, you know, not just time-lapsing the whole thing. So anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning into the channel today. Y'all be blessed.